If you're looking to move away from combustion and inhaling smoke and switch to vaping your flower, do not do that until you watch this video, because there's something that you should know before you do it. And I wish somebody would have told me, but it took me a little while to figure out. So I've been putting a lot of people on to flower vaping with my content lately. I got a lot of devices I've been testing out, and I've been helping some people make the switch from inhaling smoke to inhaling vapor with their flower. And you know, when you do dabs, you're getting concentrate vapor. So some people already have experience with vapor, but they know that they like the flower better, or they have more access to like decent flower compared to the concentrates. So they want to get flower vapor in. And look, I wish somebody would have told me this when I started trying out new devices and trying to get into flower vaping. Now I have several different ball vapes that I like to use, and I'm recording this on a Friday. Every Friday I bust out my little taffy bowl. It's called, that little water cup that vapes flower. I bust out the volcano. I do bags. I do flower vapor like every day, and I have a ton of different devices that I look forward to using because there's so many devices out there. But look, there's something that you got to know. All right, look, I'm not going to be showing any flower vapor here. I'm going to try to avoid restriction. But if you want to see me blow clouds, tune into the Twitch stream or the Rumble stream. I go live 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. We're probably getting lit right now. Where are you at? But I wish somebody would have told me this before I really took the plunge into flower vaping, because it took me a little while. I didn't like it my first rip. And most of you won't immediately fall in love with vaping flower on your first rip. I feel like I got to get that out of the way. But it took me a little while to get used to it. It took me, I would say, probably 2 weeks or so. It took me maybe like 100 rips before I was like, oh yeah, I'm getting really, really big rips out of this, and I'm really enjoying it. My first several like ball vape, flower vapor rips, when I was finally getting huge clouds, it was like a new kind of harsh that I wasn't ready for. It was like different. It felt way different. I was so used to inhaling tons of smoke. I could inhale like 10 combusted bowl rips in a row, no problem. But the flower vapor, it hits harder. So it took me a little while to get used to it. But after like weeks of doing a bunch of different flower vaping rips and really shifting away from the combustion, I slowly began to realize that I wasn't going to be able to switch back. Once you fully make that switch from combusting your rips to vaping your flower rips, you don't want to go back. The flavor is so much different. The smoothness is so much different that when you think about a combusted rip after you've been doing a ton of vapor rips, this combustion rip is going to be so harsh. It's going to be so gross. And hear me out. You don't think that when you're doing the combustion rips before you start vaping. You don't think that they're that harsh. You don't think that they're that gross. You find ways to make them better, and it's possible to make them better, but you don't realize how different it is until you start vaping your flower. And I said this a while ago. Maybe I'll say it again here. It's like when you went from like one of those box TVs, like a CRT TV, to your first flat screen. Some of the older people are going to know about this. Some of the younger people are going to be like, I literally don't know what you're talking about. But like using those square CRT TVs was fine, right? You had no issues with it. It looked great. It was what you'd play your games on, what you'd watch movies and TV shows on at home. And then when flat screens hit the market and everybody had these LCD, LED, plasma screens, all these different things, like you look at a CRT TV, you look at one of those tube TVs, those box TVs, and you're like, ugh, that does not look good. Oh, I got high definition 1080p over here on my flat screen, and it's nice and wide. The big tube square TVs looking all fuzzy and stuff. So it's really like you just upgraded all the TVs in your house from CRTs to flat screens. You're not going to be able to switch back to the CRT. You're going to be able to do it here and there for the nostalgia. Let me plug in the Super Nintendo or something, but you're not going to be able to make the switch back, or at least you're not going to like it if you do. So after I started doing mostly flower vapor rips, I began to realize the combustion rips, those are one-offs for me. That's 1,000 times harsher than what I'm trying to do. It tastes 1,000 times worse than what I'm trying to do. And frankly, it doesn't get me as high. Oh yeah, I'm giving away a Peak Pro on Rumble. Check the description and the link to enter this giveaway. But that's something I wish somebody would have told me before I started getting heavy into the flower vapor. I can't switch back. Bro, combustion is gross. Anyway, come get lit with me, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. We go live and we get lit. I'll see you there.